No one expected that what Jungkook did a few days before Taehyung's birthday would actually become a topic that made armies around the world stop for a moment and wonder. Why is he so silent? Why aren't there any clues as usual? While everyone was waiting for a surprise, Jungkook opted for something much quieter. And that's where it all began. The first clue appeared accidentally. Not from a big post, not from an official statement. Only a small change in Jungkook's attitude caught on by loyal fans. He looked calmer, more silent, and several times seemed to hold back his emotions when he said Taehyung's name. Many thought he was just tired. But apparently, there was something he was preparing in silence. According to sources circulating among fans, Jungkook deliberately stayed away from the spotlight right before Taehyung's special day. Not because of distance, but because he wanted to keep one thing pure. Not an expensive gift, not a surprise party, but a personal act intended for only one person. Something that can't be wrapped up, can't be displayed, but feels so much deeper. When a moment finally happened, Taehyung's reaction was unexpected. No big laughs, no long words. He fell silent. His eyes were glazed. A few seconds that felt very long seemed to reveal that what Jungkook did touched the most hidden part of his heart. Many soldiers admitted that they were goosebumps at the sight of that expression, because obviously this was not a far-fetched reaction. To his surprise, Taehyung then does something that makes the atmosphere change completely. He replied with a simple but meaningful gesture, as if to say that he really understood Jungkook's intentions. Without needing to be explained, without needing to be announced, the moment speaks for itself. A bond that doesn't need words. This is where the emotions of the fans burst out. Many have realized that their relationship is not about big surprises, but rather about being the right presence at the most needed time. Jungkook chose to be there before Taehyung's birthday, not when the spotlight was on, and that's what makes Taehyung's response so sincere and surprising. Maybe that's why this story is so compelling. Because behind the sparkling stage and public expectations, there are two humans who choose silence as a language of love. And today, unexpectedly, the army bears witness that one small act before the big day can leave a much greater emotional impact than anything planned. The silence sparked more questions among the army. Why did Jungkook choose to do it before his birthday instead of right on that special date? Some fans are starting to notice one pattern that is rarely talked about. Jungkook is often present at the quietest moments, when the cheering has not yet begun and the cameras are not ready. As if he wanted to make sure Taehyung felt cared for even before the world joined in the celebration. Other clues appeared afterwards. Taehyung looks warmer, smiles less often for no apparent reason. On several occasions, he even spoke of people who know when to come without naming names. The short sentence immediately sparked speculation. Many felt that it was not just an ordinary greeting, but rather a subtle hint of what he had just received emotionally. What makes this story even more touching is Jungkook's reaction after seeing Taehyung's response. It does not boast of anything. No clarifications, no attempts at attention. Quite the contrary. He returned to his humble attitude, as if his little mission had been completed. For many army, this attitude became proof that what he was doing really came from the heart. Not to be seen in just a few hours, pieces of this moment spread widely. Not because it's dramatic, but because it feels real. Many fans admitted that they were reminded of their own personal experience, of how valuable a person who was present early, who understood without being asked. This story also turned from just a rumor into a mirror of emotions for many people, and unexpected. The actions taken away from the spotlight actually left the deepest traces. Taehyung's heartfelt response made many in the army realize that the biggest surprises don't always come on the big day. Sometimes it comes first in silence and stays longer in the heart, and perhaps that is the reason why this story continues to be talked about. Not because of what you see, but because of what you feel. A reminder that before the candles are blown out and the congratulations echo, there are small cares that can make everything feel much more meaningful. As time went on, many armies began to assemble small pieces that previously felt meaningless. The brief look caught on camera, the pause and breath before Jungkook spoke, the way Taehyung suddenly fell silent when his name was called. All of that now feels different, as if it has a new meaning after knowing what happened before the birthday arrived. It was as if there was a little secret that only the two of them understood, but the tremors reached the hearts of the fans. What makes this story even stronger is its imperfection. There is no complete documentation, no blatant recognition. Only impressions are left, and that's exactly what makes it feel real. ARMY is not treated to a neatly wrapped sweet story, but rather raw moments full of emotion, like life itself. Many say that this is the reason they fell in love with BTS in the first place. Honesty that is not always spoken but felt. Some fans even noticed one heartrending thing. Taehyung's response was not the reaction of someone shocked by a big surprise, but rather the response of someone who felt fully understood. There was a relief on his face. There was a sense of security that was difficult to describe in words. And that's where the emotions of many ARMY collapsed, because the moment was too human to ignore. Behind all the speculation and heated discussions, a message seemed to appear by itself. That strong relationships are not always built from big celebrations, but from small attentions that come at the most opportune time. Jungkook doesn't wait for birthdays to show his care, and Taehyung doesn't need a party to feel appreciated. Now, on the eve of that special day, many soldiers looked at him with different feelings. It is no longer about what will happen on Taehyung's birthday, but about what has happened before. About a silent moment that may never have been announced, but has left a deep mark, and maybe that's the real surprise. It is not what is seen by everyone, but rather what happens when the world has not turned its head.